Hey Truth Seekers, it's Nathaniel and Carolyn here, and we are going to be doing a deck profile for Mono Hope, and Carolyn built this deck.
Yep, about 5 minutes ago.
Yep.
So starting off, this is our Red Letter Day mono deck. So we have our Truth Seeker Levi. And as it is a Hope deck, I have 7 Hope power cards here. Yeah. So, not really a specific reason why I chose 7. I just need to be able to run into them when I need them. That's the only reason. Starting off, I run 1 copy of our beautiful Infinifish here. As a lot of you probably know at this point, I do like running my smaller 1 powers. They're really helpful. And this guy is basically a 1 for 4. So yeah, and he just kind of puts himself back in and you just keep seeing him. So I think that's pretty great. I run 2 copies of our lovely Hopper. Being a 3 for 4, not the greatest, but the fact that you can search your deck for any 2 Animo with a victory score of 8 or less, regardless of level, I think that's awesome. So I will probably exchange one of these eventually, but right now, this is kind of how I have it set up. I have 3 of our lovely Aurora here. For the ability, if this card is in your small group, it provides 1 hope power during your scoring phase. This card may not be activated in the turn its ability is used. I think that's just a wonderful thing to have on hand, because you can either play it or you can use it, either one. So, pretty cool. I have 3 copies of Schwimmer. Again, it's a smaller 1 cost, but the action is you get to search your deck for 1 standard power card and place it directly into your power pool, and it's a level 1, so I think that's just really great. I don't run any Holy Spirit in this deck as it is a mono hope, so it is just a 1 for 3, but being able to get that power, especially kind of early game, is super helpful. I run 1 of the Glimmer Growth line. Again, I'm not running any kind of other colors, so its fellowship bonus isn't going to help me very much, but a 2 for 7 is pretty cool, and I get this free draw off of Glimmer level 2, so that is why I put her in there. Now, I say I don't run any other colors, and I technically don't, because really what I'm trying to get to is the Quillo level 2. And she does grow off of the Quillo level 1, which is a universal this set. But I have it specifically in here for the level 2. Searching my deck for any 1 story card and 1 hope power, reveal them and put them into my hand for the next turn is just, it's needed. That draw power is needed. So, and it's a 2 for 8. That's why I have those in there. I also similarly run 1 set of the Flamingo. Being a 2 for 9 is pretty great. Again, I can't use that fellowship bonus because I'm not using fellowship in this deck. Getting to our bigger hitters, I have 3 of the Percy line here. And specifically, I really like having this ability that I can kind of stack my deck, but I can also put something into my hand. And then this one allows me to just search for any 2 cards and put them in my hand. And being a 3 for 10, it's not bad. So I definitely like both of those guys.
And this deck just has like all the draw power.
Yeah, when it hits right. I have 3 of the Socro line here. 2 for 6 isn't bad, but I prefer the 2 for 9. And also only putting 1 back in there is great versus the 2. And I can also draw 1 card off of this, and then I can shuffle my hand back and draw 5 cards if I need to. So that's a great way to get your hand reset if your hand is pretty stale. So I really like that guy. And then I run 2 Ultras in the deck. I have Percy and I have Socro. The fact that Percy is a 3 for 12, Socro is also a 3 for 12, but the ability on Percy is that I can just draw a card once per turn, which that can make or break your hand. I have 3 equipment cards. They're the only equipment cards I run in this deck. They're the only ones that are super helpful. They turn the return cost on Hope into just a regular Hope cost, which a lot of my Hope Animo do return that, and so that's really helpful to keep that power out there. Moving on to my story cards, I have one of the Runaway. Select any Animo from my discard pile and return it to my hand. Super helpful because it does not specify level or if it has to be an ultra or not. I run 2 of the Rich Fool, allowing me to draw the bottom 3 cards of my deck. I run 2 of Fishing Nets, which also allows me to draw 2 cards. If it's the last card in my hand, I get to draw 4 instead. So, super good draw power there. I run 2 of the Hidden Treasure. Hidden Treasure is place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of my deck. If I do, I may draw 3 cards, which that is just, I like being able to draw. But this one also kind of sets that up. So if I need to draw later on from the bottom of my deck, if I haven't shuffled in between, that's a cool card because I've basically stacked it. I run 1 Mustard Seed, which allows me to discard 2 cards from my hand and search my deck for up to 2 growth stages. I don't run any level 3s in this deck, but this card will be helpful getting some of my level 2s out there. And finally, I run 1 Good Soil. Looking at the top 7 cards of my deck, I would place 1 Animo I find there into my hand. And then last of all, I run 1 Sandcastle. I will probably end up removing the Sandcastle at some point in the near future. But currently, I really like it. I can search my deck for an Ultra or a Mega Animo. I think that's pretty great. And then moving on to my Cinnies, I'm going to start off with Flipper here because it is the least and also equally the most Cinny defense points.
Yep.
I guess would be a good way to say that. So if my opponent has 40 or more points, they have to face a 17. If they don't, then they get to face this little guy, which Flipper's just really cool, and I love the artwork on him. Next, I run Hookworm. It has the ability that as long as a Cinny is active, all my opponent's Animo require 1 extra universal cost in order to be activated, which really helps against some of the strategies that Nathaniel likes to run. So it doesn't allow him to play all the Animo that he wants to play. Next, I have Grump Roast, and Grump Roast says that my opponent may not have any more than 3 Animo in my small group at a time. If more are in the opponent's small group when this card is revealed, they have to discard down to 3. Next, I have my 10s, which I have 3 10s out there. Fear Crow, I just like Fear Crow from set 1. The action is that I get to choose 1 level 2 or level 3 Animo from my opponent's small group, revert the Animo back to a level 1 by having my opponent shuffle back the growth stages for that Animo. The other one I have is Wolf. Wolf is a little bit different. I almost don't even really consider him a Cinny because I'm rarely going to use him for his Cinny ability. I will be using him for his ability. I won't be using him as a Cinny as much because he says that if this card is in my hand, I can choose to show it to my opponent and shuffle it back and draw another card. So I think that's really cool. Probably won't be using him as a Cinny as such. So the other Cinny I have in my hand that's a 10 is Bob Bubble. And as long as this card remains active, your opponent may not have any more than 1 Animo of the same name in their small group, which helps against the stagnetic strategy and things like that. So that's just going to be really rude.
And if I want to have multiple Animos at the same level.
Yep.
Or different levels.
And then I have Grumble. Grumble's just big, and I like him, and his stuff is just cute. And there's also, if you see, there's a little duck with a little umbrella standing over here being all cute. And then finally, I have Plantrap Mega. He is a 16. He does not have any abilities or actions, but he is a 16. So he is pretty darn cool. So that is my Mono Hope Levi deck for Red Letter Day.
In the meantime, Truth Seekers, keep learning virtues and defeating Sinnies.